Artemis, the chaste lunar goddess of the wild hunt, lady of the beasts, has seen more than 3,000 years of worship, both ancient and modern. The ancient Greek poet Homer referred to Artemis as Artemis Agorera, Potnia Theron, Artemis, mistress of the wild land and animals. Etymologically speaking, Artemis is a derivative of Arctos, or bear, and had ties to the bear cult in Attica. Artemis, in Greek religion, is the goddess of wild animals, the hunt and vegetation, and of chastity and childbirth. She was identified by the Romans with Diana. Artemis was the daughter of Zeus and Leto, and the twin sister of Apollo. Among the rural populace, Artemis was the favourite goddess. Her character and function varied greatly from place to place, but apparently, behind all forms lay the goddess of wild nature, who danced, usually accompanied by nymphs, in mountains, forests, and marshes. Artemis embodied the sportsman's ideal, so besides killing game, she also protected it, especially the young. This was the Homeric significance of the title, Mistress of Animals. Artemis's birth story starts with her parents, Zeus, the father of all gods, and Leto, titaness of motherhood. While Leto was pregnant with the twins Apollo and Artemis, she was also hunted by Zeus's wife, Hera. Leto eventually received help from Mother Gaia, who helped hide her on the island of Delos. Jealous and unable to get to Leto, Hera kept Alethea, the midwife, from visiting Leto while in labour. Artemis was birthed first before her brother Apollo, and even gave her mother midwife assistance while Apollo's birth progressed. This earned her the title Lokia, or helper in childbirth. Artemis is a prominent figure in myth and literature, depicted as a hunting goddess of the woods, often accompanied by her chaste band of nymphs. In the myth of Actaeon, he is transformed into a deer by Artemis and devoured by his own hunting dogs after witnessing the goddess bathing naked. Another tale involves Callisto, who is banished from Artemis's company for breaking her vow of virginity by laying with Zeus and becoming pregnant. In the epic tradition, Artemis intervenes in the Trojan War by halting the winds and demanding the sacrifice of Agamemnon's daughter, Iphigenia, as compensation for a slain deer. However, in most versions of the story, Artemis spares Iphigenia and takes her away, leaving a deer in her place. Additionally, Artemis supported the Trojans against the Greeks, and even challenged Hera to battle. When Artemis was 3 years of age, it is said that she crawled upon Zeus's lap with 6 requests for him. Her first wish was to always remain a virgin. Of course, it is debated what exactly the word virgin meant in pre-Christian times, and some sources claim it meant to not be owned by marriage. Her second wish was for her to have many names to separate her from her brother, Apollo. For her third wish, she wished to always have a bow, arrows, and a short knee-length tunic so that she may hunt. Her fourth wish was to be a light bringer, because while she is a lunar goddess, she isn't always associated with the night. Her fifth wish was to have 60 daughters of Archaeanos, all 9 years of age, to serve as her choir. Her sixth wish was to have 20 Amnisades nymphs as handmaidens to watch her dogs and bow as she rested. Even as a small child, Artemis's independent nature was already apparent, thus making her a favourite goddess amongst feminists. Artemis is presented as a goddess who delights in hunting and punishes harshly those who cross her. Artemis's wrath is proverbial and represents the hostility of wild nature to humans. Homer calls her the mistress of animals, a title associated with representations in art going back as far as the Bronze Age, showing a woman between a pair of animals. Artemis carries with her certain functions and characteristics of a Minoan form, whose history was lost in the myths. Artemis was not known to have a consort. However, she did have a best friend in Orion. According to Robert Graves, the story of Artemis and Orion is a tragic one. Artemis and Orion spent days hunting from mountaintop to mountaintop, laughing and carrying on. One evening they lay about the fire after a particularly hard hunt, laughing and conversing about how much they both meant to each other and what great friends they were. They ended up snuggling together and falling asleep. The next morning Apollo caught them still sleeping so snugly and worried for his sister's virginity. With a loud whistle, Apollo woke them both. Artemis left Orion behind with Apollo to go tend to her priestesses. Apollo, who is a sun god, is very beautiful and known for his bisexuality and many lovers. He seduced Orion with his beauty, and after their day took its course and both men were satisfied with one another, they lay sunbathing. Orion brought up the subject of Apollo's sister. Apollo became violently angry, questioning Orion about his sister's virginity, but Orion reassured him that Artemis was still a chaste goddess, and that no man had touched her. Apollo was easily insulted and set about plotting Orion's destruction with a large scorpion, in the end tricking Artemis herself into shooting Orion in the head with her bow. In her grief, she made Orion a constellation, along with Scorpio. In Asia Minor, near the modern-day city of Selçuk, Turkey, there once stood the temple of Artemis of Ephesus. Artemis of Ephesus was a bit different to Artemis of the mainland. The original people of Ephesus equated Artemis with their own goddess, Ephesia. It is also said that the matrifocal and matrilineal Anatolian Amazons, who worshipped Cybele, built a temple there. In a politically charged move, Alexander of Macedon refurbished the temple to Artemis. Historians generally place the temple of Artemis of Ephesus as first being built around 800 BCE and then being destroyed and rebuilt many times, each time becoming more majestic. Antipater of Sidon, who compiled the list of the 7 ancient wonders of the world, upon seeing the temple, lo, apart from Olympus, the sun never looked upon aught so grand. According to some historians, the temple measured 415 feet by 225 feet, with 127 marble columns and with a 60-foot diameter. The city of Ephesus, along with the temple of Artemis, continued to prosper for hundreds of years until 57 AD, when St. Paul came to Ephesus looking for new converts to Christianity. In 391 AD, the temple was closed as the city and spirituality started to wane. Emperor Theodosius made Christianity the state religion, and the temple was eventually destroyed by mobs. Ephesus never again became the crossroads of trading and prosperity it once was. Contemporary worship of Artemis by Hellenic pagans and Reconstructionist pagans owes a lot to one woman, a woman by the name of Fista Manai, who founded the Temple of Artemis at Cataleos in 2005 in Cambridge, Massachusetts, USA. The temple does share a few cosmetic similarities with Wiccan-related pagan practices. Miss Manai also has many published works focusing on the goddess Artemis, for those of us who live too far away to participate in her temple. Despite being 3,000 years old, Artemis is still a living and fiercely independent goddess. Women love her. The patriarchy misunderstands and fears her. If you want to learn more about Greek gods and goddesses, then we have a fantastic collection of books all about them, many of which are on screen behind me right now. You can head over to Moonbooks Publishing for more information. Thank you for watching. A special thanks to our YouTube members. You can also support us further by becoming a member. If you are new here, please do subscribe for more, give us a like, ring the bell, and we'll see you next time.